Okay, ladies and gentlemen of geometry, we're talking about slope. Slope may bring back some memories from algebra days, and that's fine. It's supposed to, because that's what we're talking about. So if you remember it, that's advantage you. So let's talk about slope of a line. Slope is basically going to be vertical rise over horizontal run, and ski resorts kind of rate their trails by the slope. So easier trails go 6 to 25%, where difficult trails have a slope of 40% or greater. What does this mean? So this means the steeper the hill, the more dangerous it is. So which should kind of make sense to you guys. So finding slope in the coordinate plane. So basically, how do I get from A to B? What do I do? Well, I got to figure out how much do I go up or down over how far do I travel. So this one I go down 3. Okay, then I go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I go down 3, that makes it negative, right 6. So what I want to do is go y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Some of you guys should recognize that. All right, another way to think about it is it's called change in y over change in x, okay? What is my x value change? What is my y value change? So this, with negative 3 over 6, it's negative because I go down, and 6 because I'm traveling right 6. So I could simplify that to negative 1/2 as well. All right, so figuring out the slope, so let's take a look here. So from here, from j to k, all right, so if I want to figure it out algebraically, I can do this. So j is going to be at negative 1, negative 2, and negative 1, negative 2. That's easier. All right, and k is going to be at 3, 3. All right, so y minus y over x minus x, algebraically, I'm going to go 3 minus negative 2 over 2 minus negative 1. So that's going to give me 5 over 3. All right, so if I do that on the graph, I go up 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stop right there. I went 1 too far. Over 1, 2, 3, 4. Now where did I screw up? So it should be 3, 3. This should be. Oh, you know what? I biffed on this part right here. Sorry about that. So that's going to go. So its top part's still going to be 3 minus negative 2. Bottom part's going to be 3 minus negative 1. So that should be 4. Whew, good thing I double-checked myself there. So 5 over 4. So it's going to be positive. Sorry about that. I just was trying to go too fast. So it's a good thing to double-check. So for number 2, L is going to be at negative 2, comma 4. M is going to be at 1, comma negative 3. So algebraically doing this, if I go y minus y, if I go 4 minus negative 3 over negative 2 minus 1, okay? Y minus y, x minus x. How do I get from point A to point B? That's going to be 7 over negative 3, which in this case actually is the same thing as negative 7 over 3. So here I'm going to go down 7, okay? Wait, sorry, that's 3. Woo! Cannot graph today. 3 minus negative 3. So that's going to be 6. So which this should simplify to negative 2. Wow, if only I could figure out the points today. So I'm going to go down 6 over 3, down 6 over 3. So I'm going to go negative 6 over 3, which is going to be just negative 2. So double check your points. Wow, that's the moral of the story there, because I biffed that one twice now. Wow, I'm embarrassed. So I got to fix that. So this is going to be negative 2, 3, 1, negative 3. So fix this point. All right, so don't do that. Do this. 2, comma, negative 3. That's the point I want to use. All right. So slope of NP, notice, I'm running forever, but I'm never rising. So this becomes, 4, 8 over 0. Well, you can't ever divide by 0 in math. It's like a rule, so that we call that undefined, okay? All right? Whoa, back up. Hold on, I gotta slow down. Wow, I'm not doing anything. So rise is going to be 0 over 8. So that slope is just going to be 0. Boom, 0. No rise, all run, that's going to be 0. 0 divided by anything is 0. QR is where I go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, divided by 0. Here's where I divide by 0. Whew! Let's get this life figured out. Now, this is undefined. All right, because I'm trying to divide by 0. So your big tip off here is where 0 is. 0 on the top is safe. 0 on the bottom is not. So lines B and R are parallel. Lines S and P are perpendicular. Let's kind of figure out what's going on. Line B passes through these 2 points. Line R passes through those 2 points. So basically figuring out slopes. So for line B, all right, I want to go y minus y. So I'll go 2 minus 6. Over negative 9 minus 3. Okay, and what you figure out is if I flip that around, it would still be fine. So this is going to be negative 4 over negative 12. So that's going to simplify to 1/3. Okay, so line R is going to be, let's go 4 minus 3 over 5 minus 2. And that simplifies to 1/3. So 1/3, 1/3. Please notice they are the same. That's what makes them parallel. All right. S and P are going to be a little bit different. S, so I'm going to have negative 5 minus 1, negative 1 minus 1. So that's going to be negative 6 over negative 2, which is going to equal positive 3. P is going to be 2 minus 1 over 3 minus 6. Okay, so that's going to give me 1. Something's not right here. Negative 5 minus 1. Negative 1 minus 1. So that's fine. Here, I'm going to go 2 minus 1, 3 minus 6. Nope, that's what I want. Never mind. Now I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to overthink. So negative 3, and that's what I want. Now notice, when I multiply the slopes, I get a product of negative 1. That's my tip-off. So the slope of S is 3. Slope of P is negative 1/3. If I were to multiply those two, I would get negative 1 for an answer. That's what makes it perpendicular, is if I have a negative 1 as a product. All right, 2 lines have the same slope, and if and only if they are equal. 2 lines are perpendicular if and only if their slopes are a product of negative 1, okay? So product of negative 1. Okay, so here, line 1 and line 2 parallel, line 1 and line 2 here perpendicular. So taking a look, line R and line S, let's take a look. So line R, slope, so if I go negative 9 minus 1, then I got to go 7 minus negative 4. So that's negative 10 over 11. That's an 11, not a 4. So if I switch it up, go line S, let's see what happens with line S. So line S, I'll go 6 minus negative 4, 4 minus 15. And again, I could have gone negative 4 first and 15 first. I'll still end up at the same spot. So 10 over negative 11. So when I simplify that out, they're both negative 10 over 11. Those are the same. That's going to be a parallel. Those are going to be 2 parallel lines. All right, so graph the line that contains the point negative 3, 0 and is perpendicular to the line that contains the point negative 2, 3, negative 2, 0. So figure out slope first. So let's go negative 3 minus 0 over negative 2 minus 2. So it's going to be negative 3 over negative 4. So that's going to be 3/4. But that's not the slope I want. I want what's perpendicular to that. So perpendicular means flip it and multiply it by negative 1. So the slope I want is going to be negative 4/3. This is the slope I want, because negative 4/3 times positive 3/4 is going to give me 1. So now when I go to graph this, negative 3, 0 is right here, but I want this slope. So I want to go down 4 over 3. Down 4 over 3. So it's going to look something like that. That's the line. It contains negative 3, 0. perpendicular to the line that contains -2, 3, all right, and 2, 0. -2, sorry, -2, -3, and 2, 0. So it'll be perpendicular to that line, which it looks like it is. So it passes the eye test. All right, so here, contains a point 5, 1. So 5, 1 is my mark right there. Parallel to the point of -2, 4, and 2, 1. So this time I want the same slope. So my slope is going to be 4 minus 1. Getting ahead of myself. 4 minus 1 is in fact 3. And then -2 minus 2. So that's going to be 3 over -4. So -3/4. So that's the slope I want. So down 3 over 4. So it's going to go right here. It's going to be parallel to -2, 4, and 2, 1. So it looks like it's going to be pretty close. If my graph was, if I could draw a line pretty well, it would be actually looking pretty steady there. All right, we're almost done. Hang in there. So quantity y changes to quantity x. So 1965, there was a population. 2012, there was a population. So I'm going to go 131,686 minus 8,052 over 2012 minus 1965. All right, what that does is tells me how many people on average moved into Columbia, South Carolina during that time frame. So a little calculator work. So you're looking at approximately 2630.51. So about 2,630 people per year were moving into Columbia, South Carolina. So 500 million songs were legally downloaded, okay? In 2011, 2 million songs were legally downloaded. Find the slope and interpret the meaning. So if we go from 500 minus 200, we go 2013 minus 2011, all right? So that's going to be 300, and that's going to be 2. That's not 204. So that's going to be 150. Okay, so what does that mean? That means in 2 years, there was 150 million more songs downloaded then than then. So how does that change? Well, what would it be? Well, you'd add 300 more. So in 2015, you would expect there to be 800 million songs done. All right, finish up the last one, and then show me your notes done, and get any questions answered, and I will talk to you soon.